At the end of July, there was a PC ban that California enacted that banned certain PCs from being sold due to emission reasons. Now you might be wondering, what does that have to do with pre-built systems versus custom built systems? But actually, it has everything to do with it. So in this video, I want to talk about the differences between custom built PCs and pre-built PCs. What's the difference? Are they the same? Should you buy one or the other? And what exactly is this California ban all about? So without further ado, let's get right into it. So let's first talk about this ban on PCs and how it relates to everything that I'm talking about in this video. This ban actually sparked quite a bit of outrage in California, Colorado, Hawaii, Oregon, Vermont, and Washington, where this bill took place. And the whole point of this was that it was a regulation that was put in place to limit the consumption used by different devices such as PCs, monitors, and so on and so forth. But it really sparked the most outrage on the PC end. Dell already had to remove a couple of the PCs from their website, and they also had to restrict those being purchased in those certain states. The main ones that did get affected was the Alienware Aora R12 and the Aora R10. Those are the two models so far. There was one other model that did abide to the regulations, so it was able to stay there, so people can still purchase that. So how does this relate to pre-built versus custom built PCs? Well, it's actually pretty simple. If you guys ever look at a spec sheet on any type of pre-built system, you're gonna notice a common theme. They always tell you the type of CPU being used, the type of GPU being used, the amount of space that's in the hard drive, the amount of space in the RAM stick, and most likely they're going to tell you what type of software that's being used. But have you ever wondered why the power supply is never advertised? I mean, every single time you go to like PC Part Picker or any of those type of custom built websites to pick out your own power supply, you always gravitate towards something that has like 80 plus gold, 80 plus bronze, 80 plus platinum, you know, something that is actually has an efficiency rating. But what about those other PCs? Why do they not tell you? Well, that's because more likely than not, they're using something that is substandard. And while we're on the topic of power supplies, have you not wondered why they don't tell you the name of the RAM stick that's being used, the name of the hard drive that's being used? What about the motherboard? We don't even know what type of motherboard that's being used. Are they using an Asus motherboard or a Gigabyte motherboard? We actually do not know. And the reason why they do that is because they're trying to save money. They know that the normal everyday consumer does not care about the type of motherboard being used or power supply or hard drive for that matter. All they care is that it works and that the amount of space allocated for the hard drive, for example, is good enough for them to do their daily tasks. But no matter if it's Dell, Lenovo, HP, you will never find them actually telling you the brand name for those items. And even the RAM, I mean, if you look at most RAM sticks, they always tell you the amount of space, like maybe it'll be like 8 gigabytes of DDR4, but do you actually know the speed of the RAM? That's because most likely it is using 2133 megahertz and it's not 3200 or 3400 or something much more applicable to today's standards. And so if you're looking at trying to build your own PC or just trying to buy it right off the bat, you will notice that there's a big difference between both categories. Now, does this mean that all pre-builts are bad? Absolutely not. I mean, at the end of the day, Dell, Lenovo, HP, just to name a few, these players do have to live up to a certain standard, and they're not going to give you junk at the end of the day, because if it ends up not working and just ends up malfunctioning, well then that's just going to tarnish their brand. So at the end of the day, it's in their best interest to actually make sure that it works. But are you going to get that same longevity or that same efficiency or that same performance as a custom built PC? Probably not. But 99% of the time, if you guys have the time and the money to actually sit down and actually pick out parts from a website like PC Part Picker, is a great way to start, then I would recommend just doing that route instead of just buying a pre-built system. You're gonna have a way better performing system at the end of the day, and you're gonna end up getting way more knowledge on how PCs work and different parts and how you could actually switch out things to improve it. And so if you're looking to custom build your PC, you're probably gonna be able to get a much better parts than if you just took that money and built a pre-built system. I know at the end of the day, it's much easier just to buy a pre-built system than actually having to watch a YouTube video on how to build everything, but you're gonna get a much better performing system at the end of the day when you do it yourself versus when you buy a pre-built system from a manufacturer. And so I hope I was able to educate some of you guys today. I know some people have asked me in the past whether or not they should buy this pre-built system or if they should just build it. And so 9 out of 10 times, I'm gonna just tell you just to build it yourself if you're able to do that. I know that not everybody has the luxury of time, and it does take some skill to actually just build a system. So a lot of people just gravitate towards buying a pre-built system because it's going to be much easier. And for you guys, I would definitely say pick a reliable brand like Dell, like Lenovo, like HP. As for the regulations that are going on in California, I do not think that is going to translate to the rest of the country and possibly the rest of the world. I just do not see that as yet. I mean, I think politics has a huge role to play in that, from not spreading to the rest of the states. And I don't think consumers are going to be too fond of that. But I do think in the future, those pre-built manufacturers are going to have to change the way that they make their PCs, and they're going to have to improve the standard of those power supplies and some of the parts they use in order to keep up with the industry standard. And seeing that we're going green in so many different industries, it just makes sense that computers and monitors and other different types of tech actually live up to today's standards and going green as well. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know what you guys think and whether or not you have a pre-built system or a custom built system, and basically what you guys think about it. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and like for more content like this. I really do enjoy the support, and thank you guys for getting me this far in my YouTube career. But with that said, my name is Matthew. I really hope you guys have a great day, but as always, peace out.